Welcome to another episode of Out Loud Geek, where we discuss news and views about pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, food, cooking, the outdoors, and more. Ezra Miller is making the news again for all the wrong reasons. The actor, who went into hiding with Dakota Iron Eyes, the 18-year-old non-binary transgender daughter of two Native Americans from North Dakota, who had a protection order filed against Miller, who they accuse of grooming their daughter since the age of 12, began to mock authorities that are looking for them through their verified Instagram account with bizarre memes. But as of yesterday, Miller deleted their verified Instagram account because more allegations of grooming have been made against the actor, as well as another protection order filed in the state of Massachusetts by the mother of a 12-year-old. Let's take a look first at the memes that Ezra Miller was posting on Instagram. "You cannot touch me. I am in another universe." And in another one, he said, "Message from another dimension." Now, if Ezra Miller actually believes that he's in another dimension or another universe, then he really has some sort of psychological problem. That's a clear break with reality. But I fully believe that he is simply doing what he can to evade authorities. But then, as I said earlier, Miller deleted their Instagram account yesterday because the mother of a 12-year-old filed a protection order against Miller for attempting to groom her child. So this is just getting really dark very fast with Ezra Miller. A verified Instagram account belonging to actor Ezra Miller is no longer on the platform after the Flash star allegedly mocked authorities about their whereabouts. The blue checkmarked account for the Justice League and Fantastic Beasts actor was scrubbed this week on the heels of mounting allegations of misconduct. The Daily Beast reported Thursday that a mother and her 12-year-old child were granted a temporary harassment prevention order against Miller on Wednesday in Greenfield, Massachusetts, after alleging that the actor menaced their family at a neighbor's home and acted inappropriately toward the child. And here is the article from the Daily Beast, which goes into some detail about what's going on. On Wednesday, a mother and her 12-year-old child traveled to their local courthouse in Greenfield, Massachusetts, and were granted a temporary harassment prevention order against Ezra Miller after alleging that the actor menaced their family one evening in their downstairs neighbor's home and acted inappropriately toward the non-binary youngster. The news comes on the heels of a number of other disturbing allegations that have surfaced against the 29-year-old, best known for their turn as the Flash in Justice League. And, of course, Miller is also non-binary, or at least so the actor says. Last week, the parents of 18-year-old environmental activist Dakota Iron Eyes requested that a court issue a protective order against Miller, stating in court documents that the actor met Dakota 6 years ago when they were 12 and Miller was 23, and that Ezra uses violence, intimidation, threat of violence, fear, paranoia, delusions, and drugs to hold sway over a young adolescent Dakota. Remember what's in this statement right here that was filed by this other family? Threats of violence. So this is going to come up again here momentarily. The parents also accused Miller of influencing Dakota's decision to come out as non-binary transgender. The court has been unable to locate Miller to serve the papers, and Miller deleted their Instagram Wednesday afternoon, but not before posting a series of memes mocking the authorities for their ability to find them. Creator Mia Solange took to TikTok in April to accuse Miller of being an abuser, while the actor was arrested twice in Hawaii for disorderly conduct, harassment, and allegedly throwing a chair at a woman. On top of all that, in 2020, a video went viral of Miller attacking a young female fan in Iceland, though local authorities declined to investigate the incident. In the Massachusetts case, The Daily Beast reviewed a copy of the protection order signed by a judge and spoke with the 12-year-old accuser, their mother, and another neighbor who was present. The case docket has not been posted on the court's online system, so the official complaint made by the child's mother was not available. The Daily Beast also reviewed contemporaneous text messages sent by the mother and the neighbor, as well as photographs that corroborated parts of their accounts on the night in question. We are withholding names for privacy reasons, which is good because there's no reason for any of these individuals to have to be, doxxed because of what Miller has been doing. On the evening of February 2nd, the trio contend that Miller was present at the downstairs neighbor's home in Greenfield, which is located about 40 miles from the actor's ranch in Stamford, Vermont. That neighbor is in a band with Whitney Sutters, a musician who is close friends with Miller. Miller was wearing a bulletproof vest, and I had no idea until later that they were armed, recalls the visiting neighbor. Remember this. Not only was he wearing a bulletproof vest while visiting this friend, he was armed. He had a gun on him, and that's going to come out here. Tensions began brewing when the mother says she mentioned doing some traveling recently with her tribe of people, leading Miller to snap at her and accuse her of cultural appropriation, which is just utterly ridiculous. Then a conversation about board games allegedly went sideways when, after Miller claimed that the board game Parcheesi had Rastafarian roots, the visiting neighbor, who is half black, questioned Miller as to which sect of the Rastafari movement it originated from. At that point, Ezra explodes and started screaming directly into my face, the visiting neighbor tells me. They said, "You don't even know what the F you're talking about. What did you say to me? What did you say to me?" I was very caught off guard, the visiting neighbor continues. Then they opened up their jacket. They had this big Sherpa jacket and only opened up one side of their jacket. You could see a gun, and they said, talking like that could get you into a really serious situation. Okay. Miller was threatening this individual, which is just uncalled for. After talking about Parcheesi, I mean, seriously, Miller has several screws loose. He desperately needs to be psychologically evaluated. This is getting very serious and very dangerous. This individual needs to be psychologically treated. This is how bad it is becoming. Next, according to the visiting neighbor, the mother and the child, Miller focused their attention on the then 11-year-old, saying, "I've talked extensively with your child, and they have a lot of power to them. At one point, you're going to realize that you don't have any control over them anymore. They're an elevated being, and they would be lucky to have someone like me guide them." So in other words, Miller wants to take this 11-year-old, well, now 12-year-old child under their wing. I mean, seriously? They say Miller proceeded to turn to the mother, who dresses goth, and accused her of being a witch and a vampire, repeatedly yelling at her, "Do you want to drink my blood? Do you?" This is just beyond insane. Miller then came back to the child and allegedly began pestering them with compliments, at one point moving their chair closer to them, requesting that they add the actor on Instagram and telling the child to pursue fashion. They automatically were just weirdly drawn to me and kept talking about how they love my outfit and love my style, and kept going on and on about how it was great the child remembered. It was really uncomfortable. I was really nervous. I was scared to be around them after he'd yelled at my mother and she was crying. The mother and visiting neighbor both believe that Miller may have been under the influence due to their dilated pupils and erratic behavior, which is entirely possible, but it doesn't excuse the threats or the bad behavior. Miller apologized for the outbursts, only to return to pester the family on a number of other occasions, including in late April, in May, and on June 4th, dressed as a cowboy. In April, both the mother and child maintained that Miller made the child uncomfortable by hugging them and pressing their body closely against them. During the June visit, the child expressed their interest in horses, and Miller said that they would acquire several horses so that the child could help care for the herd on their Vermont farm, which also struck them as inappropriate. And ever since the Takata Iron Eyes news broke, however, they haven't seen or heard from Miller since. So, yeah, Miller has gone into hiding. What is the actor's agent in Hollywood doing? Does the agent have any contact with Miller? I mean, this is really serious. And at this point, I really think that Warner Brothers needs to seriously consider whether or not they should continue to move forward having this crazed actor in the Flash movie, because this is only going to continue getting worse. This is just ridiculous. So if it costs them money to reshoot The Flash because apparently they had already completed filming, even though the film isn't slated to be released for another year, that gives the studio ample time to do reshoots without Miller, to have some other actor come in and play The Flash. And right now, I think that would be the better way to go. Miller needs to be found by authorities, and Dakota Iron Eyes needs to be returned to her parents. Dakota shouldn't be running around with Miller. Dakota needs to be in a safe place, and hopefully the authorities can find Miller before he does anything else really stupid. Who knows? More allegations may come up. Only, there's no way to know. This is just getting out of hand. It will be interesting to see how this all plays out, because this is in the mainstream media. There is growing concern about this actor, and who knows what is actually going on right now, because nobody knows where Ezra Miller is or Dakota Iron Eyes. It's not good. Thanks for watching today, and a huge thanks to everyone who has subscribed to our channel. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, and please feel free to share a comment. If you'd like to see more of our videos in the future and help support this channel, please press the red subscribe button, and please press the bell to receive notifications for new content. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter by clicking on the links in the description. Until next time, this is Out Loud Geek.